started to pursue fashion in LA, and then when I came back here, obviously there isn't a ton of fashion here. I mean, teach their own, but hey, my master bathroom was still emerald green tile, and I was like, so we're not touching this? They were like, nope, and I was like, are you sure? That's kind of a huge part of my job, is like learning to know the person and their unique style, and helping them update it and work with it so it's clean and new and fresh without being not theirs.
Yeah, you've adapted, and actually I think you've really are onto something of just a little bit different than.
Hello, today we are here with Addie Picard with LA Studio and Company. We're super excited to learn about your interior design business.
Yeah.
We know you were born and raised in the Vail Valley and went to school for interior design. And share with us your path. You went to school, share with us where and how you came back to the Valley, and a little bit about how you got to where you are now, and then we'll talk about your exciting projects.
Sure. Yeah, like you said, I was born and raised in the Vail Valley, grew up in Eagle. And then I moved to Arizona, where I studied both fashion and interior design. And then I proceeded to go to LA.
That's the LA studio.
Yep.
Okay.
It has dual meaning. LA and Lucas and Addie, from an original business that we had started a while ago, my husband. And then it kind of migrated into keeping it all in the same realm.
Yep.
So then Lucas and I dated for a while, and then I found my way back in the Valley and started to pursue fashion in LA, and then when I came back here, obviously there isn't a ton of fashion here. I mean, teach their own, but
Hey, we have plenty of fashion here.
yes, just not as much a career.
Okay.
So I was so gracious to get a job working with Slifer, so I was with them for 5 years, and then moved on, and then eventually decided to start out on my own in May of last year. So it's been exciting.
Yeah,
So,
that is great.
Yeah.
Well, always fun to have your own vision and
Yes.
help other people. But that's important what you're bringing up, because I know there are other interior designers a lot in this valley, which they're all busy.
Yep.
But a lot of them are so busy that they can't take on small projects. And
Yeah.
you are open and willing to take on small projects and build into larger projects, and you still have larger projects as well that
Absolutely.
you multitask in various ways. So
Yeah.
share a little bit about the projects that you do.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, I knew I was new, out on my own, and so I started meeting I think I was very lucky because I am from here to have a lot of connections. And so the first few jobs I had were just a few chairs or a few pieces of furniture, or just wanted to freshen up a powder bathroom. And the more they start to make one room better, it kind of grows. And then they're like, oh geez, well this doesn't look as good
Right.
now, so now we're gonna be doing this. So a current job started with a few chairs, and now we are gutting the kitchen. So it just migrates, and you progress and work from there.
Yeah, that's really great.
Yeah.
Because I know, like I said, so many people are busy. So for the little jobs that are meaningful for everyone,
Absolutely.
it's nice to know that someone's willing to have the passion of doing that and putting
Yeah.
together on a small project. Do you also do any type of staging and like just with furniture that people have as well? I
Yep.
thought I saw on your website that you have that as well.
Yep, for sure. Even from rearranging like a furniture layout, like the living room's getting a little stagnant, like we'll move
Yep.
the sofa over here, maybe just get rid of a few accessories, refresh the pillows. Like you can do a lot to a room without completely going into a remodel or even buying new big pieces of furniture. Like there are a lot of things you can do to refresh a space without spending a ton of
Restyling.
money. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, which is great, because I really honestly, I'm not sure I know of anyone really that does that in this valley. So that's a great niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have a client in Denver, and she was like, this one bookcase in my living room is killing me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, send me a photo and I'll just send you some ideas. And that was just a quick exchange of ideas, and she moved on, and she found it on her own once I gave her some direction, and she was just very grateful, because sometimes you stare at something for so long and you don't know how to fix it anymore.
Well, I think that
I
is
love that.
important because we've talked during the pandemic, so many people kind of look at their walls thinking it's time for a change.
For sure.
But they're intimidated by the process, the cost,
Yep.
where to begin. And so the fact that you can really start literally with a couple chairs or a bookcase is a really valuable service.
Absolutely.
And I think once, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if you sort of spur people's thinking, it does lead to a lot more
Yep.
of the
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, for sure. And with like our day and age, like you can find so many things like sourcing on your own, but sometimes you just need the direction.
Right, the restyling.
Yeah.
I love it. Home
For sure.
home styling.
That's good
Yeah.
to know about.
Yeah.
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 The other thing when we first met, I think you mentioned, I asked sort of where do your products come from?
Mm-hmm.
And you have a breadth of knowledge of sources that people just don't know about. And
Right.
did you say that mainly is online or?
Yeah, online, and I also go to market in North Carolina, New York, Atlanta, Dallas, so you can get familiar with everything that's new coming out, and then you also maintain these relationships with reps, so they're also a resource as well.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Multi-dimensional.
Multi-dimensional, and I think
Absolutely.
people kind of get a little in the cave here and don't see the options and don't see what they want. right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But that being said, again, not to dwell on the pandemic, but there have been supply chain issues. And do you find that because you have such a wealth and depth of knowledge, you can solve problems? You're not focused on one provider.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot of different places where I source furniture. Supply chain issues have been kind of a little bit of a setback. But you know, you have to have communication up front with your clients. Like, if they're in love with this, then you have to
They'll
wait
wait.
for it. Like,
The
they're just,
expectations.
yeah, and I mean, we've just learned to work around it. There's a lot of vendors that do stock things. So if we have to have a dresser by this date, like there are definitely sources for stuff like that. Anything custom, obviously the lead time would be a little longer, but I think we all just have to learn to live in our current world and hope for the best and have some patience.
Well, I love it. But
Yeah.
you've adapted, and actually I think you've really are onto something of just a little bit different than
Yeah.
some of the, nothing against the bigger designers. They're wonderful and serve
Yeah.
their purpose, but you really have found your own space,
Yeah.
literally, within the house or,
Pardon the pun.
or someone else's house. I know.
Yeah.
No, I love that. That's
Yeah,
great.
and I have some great connections with some of the bigger designers in the valley, and some of the jobs that they just can't take on, like they have been so gracious to refer me to those, and like I cherish those relationships, and I'm so glad that I have that.
Yeah.
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 Can you tell us about a couple of your favorite projects that you've done?
Oh boy. Yes, I actually have a huge kitchen remodel that I just finished in Cordillera, and what started as new wood floors turned into
There you go.
painting the kitchen cabinets. Then we decided not to paint them, so we completely gutted the kitchen. And then I asked for just a little tour because I was brought onto the project a little later in the game, and the master bathroom was still emerald green tile. And I was like, so we're not touching this? They were like, nope. And I was like, are you sure? Because everything else is going to be super cool, and this is, you still have carpet.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Oh.
Don't
Yes.
see that a lot anymore.
So long story short, we gutted the entire master bathroom, and it now matches the new style of the home. But they were like, they became really dear friends, and it was a really fun project. And the husband, he was like, I don't know, there's something about you, you know how to get me. So we had a great relationship. So it was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it's a point though, well made, because sometimes people don't know what they want, and
For
so
sure.
you're
Or
helping.
what they need.
Yeah, or what they need.
Yep.
So you're helping with that process
Yep.
of having to figure out. You know, you're not just having someone say, "I want to." Remodel everything in here, or I just want to specifically concentrate
Right.
on it. I mean, you help with those ideas and,
Yeah.
and give them good advice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing you can also, when somebody's like, but I can't get rid of this, you're like, okay, we'll figure out a way to make that work.
Yes.
So, because some people are reluctant to give up things that they've had for years.
Yep.
But it sounds like that emerald tile, it was time to go.
Yes, definitely time to go. But then there's things like accessories that they love, and that also like helps you build like like a knowledge of their style.
Yeah.
Like, ooh, they are obsessed with this vase. So we'll work around it, and like
Exactly.
maybe we'll put that in a shelf over here. But like we'll still make it a part of your design, and that's kind of a huge part of my job, is like learning to know the person and their unique style, and
Right.
helping them update it and work with it so it's clean and new and fresh without being not theirs.
Right. And you're not just stuck in one type of style.
Right.
You work in all different spaces of styles, right?
Yep.
Contemporary, mountain, because everyone's got different tastes when they come here. Some
Oh,
really
for
like
sure.
the traditional mountain, or somewhat,
cabin.
yeah, more the cabin look, or
Yeah.
rustic, and then some want the contemporary, some
Yeah.
want they still with the antlers, and having that. I know
Yeah.
I still have clients that that some people, they want to have that taken away from their house,
Right.
and some want to add that into their house
Yeah.
as decor. So just want to make sure everyone knows that you
Yeah.
do work with
Yeah.
all different type of styles.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it sounds like you really listen.
Yeah.
And that's really a key component to your business.
Yep.
And that's what builds relationships and trust long term.
Yep. That's very important to me.
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to share with us?
I think I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Well, you provide a service that's very valuable to a lot of people, and I think really having an accessible person to say, I don't know exactly what I want, or I just want a chair, and building that relationship is something really valuable you offer your clients.
Well, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you guys.